Tourists come to Japan expecting sushi, temples, and peaceful vibes, and instead, they end up with overpriced meals, expensive taxis, and a wallet that's begging for mercy by day 2. The funny thing? Most of these money traps are completely avoidable if you know where they're hiding. Today, I'm breaking down the 15 biggest mistakes tourists make in Japan, and the real ways locals avoid wasting money. And trust me, the last few are the ones people never see coming. Tip 1. Buying attraction tickets on the same day. Japan is full of incredible attractions. Skytree, Team Lab, theme parks, museums. But the prices can jump if you buy your tickets on the day. And worse, a lot of places sell out completely, especially during cherry blossom season, long weekends, and basically any Saturday ever. The problem is, most tourists don't realize they could have saved money just by booking online a day or two before. Online prices are often cheaper, and you skip the massive line of confused people trying to pay in 6 different currencies. Booking ahead also saves you time. And trust me, time is like gold in Japan. You want to use every minute exploring, not standing around at a ticket counter, wondering why everyone else already has a QR code and you don't. Tip 2. Taking taxis when trains are much cheaper. Japan's taxis are spotless, polite, and the doors even open automatically. It's great until you see the price. A short ride can cost more than an entire day using the trains. And that's usually the moment tourists realize they've made a very expensive mistake. Most of the time, Japan's train system is all you need. It's fast, clean, safe, and runs so often it feels like the city is choreographed. Get an IC card like Suica or Pasmo. Tap in, tap out, and you're done. No thinking required. That's why most visitors eventually say the same thing. Why did we ever take a taxi? And honestly, good question. But if you really need a car, maybe you've got luggage, it's raining sideways, or your legs have filed for retirement. Locals don't use Uber. They use Go or Didi because those apps show cheaper cars, regular discounts, and promo codes that tourists don't realize exist. And don't worry if you don't speak Japanese. Both apps have full English support. Open the app, press a button, and you're good. Use trains 99% of the time. Save Go, Didi, and taxis for the "my feet are done, please take me home" moments. Your wallet will thank you. Tip 3. Eating breakfast at the hotel when local cafes are cheaper. Hotel breakfasts in Japan look fancy until you see the price and realize you're paying 2,000 to 3,000 yen for toast, eggs, and the privilege of standing in a buffet line with 50 sleepy tourists who all woke up 5 minutes too early. Meanwhile, right outside your hotel, Japanese cafes are doing cheap morning sets. Coffee, toast, egg, sometimes soup or salad, for around 600 yen. And they taste better too, because you're sitting with locals actually starting their day, not watching someone in pajamas argue with the waffle machine. The funny part is, most first-timers don't even know these morning sets exist. They're everywhere. Deuter, Kamada Coffee, Gusto, Jonathan's, Café Veloce, even tiny neighborhood cafes have them. You just walk in, look for a sign that says morning set in English or big breakfast photos, and boom, you've saved enough money to treat yourself later. Hotel breakfasts feel convenient until you realize the cafe across the street is literally 1/3 the price and 10 times the atmosphere. Tip 4. Exchanging money at the airport instead of using ATMs. Airport money counters look helpful, but the second you hand them your cash, they hit you with some of the worst exchange rates in the entire country. It's basically the tourist tax nobody warns you about. The real trick, and what frequent travelers swear by, is using city ATMs instead, especially the ones inside 7-Eleven. They almost always give you more yen for the exact same amount of money. And here's the single most important part. When the ATM asks if you want to pay in your home currency or in yen, you always choose yen. If you pick your home currency, you get slapped with a horrible conversion fee that feels like you just tipped the machine for no reason. Pick yen every time and you keep way more of your cash for things that actually matter, like food, drinks, souvenirs, and that one vending machine you'll swear you're only using just once. If you're liking these money-saving hacks so far, stick around. The next ones are the kind that make travelers say, "How did nobody tell me this sooner?" And hey, if this is helping you, tap like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the Japan series. Also, tell me in the comments which tip has been the most useful so far, or drop your own if you've discovered a good one. I read them all. Tip 5. Ignoring Japan's free water everywhere. A lot of tourists land in Japan and suddenly start buying bottled water like they're preparing for a heat wave. 3 bottles a day, sometimes 5, and every time it's another 120 yen here, 150 yen there. It doesn't feel expensive when you tap your card, but your wallet slowly starts crying. What most people don't realize is that Japan has free drinking water everywhere. Parks, train stations, shopping centers, temples, even hotels with little refill stations. The tap water is completely safe, super clean, and honestly tastes better than half the bottled brands. Locals refill their bottles all the time. Meanwhile, tourists keep buying new ones because they don't recognize the fountains or they assume the water isn't safe. It is. And it's good. And here's the smart bit. Save your bottled water budget for the fun stuff, the vending machines. Japan's vending machines are practically an attraction by themselves. You've got weird peach sodas, cold milk tea, hot coffee in a can, matcha lattes, seasonal lemon teas, grape jelly drinks, and a bunch of flavors you didn't even know existed. That's where you want to spend your yen, not on the same bottle of plain water over and over. Tip 6. Buying souvenirs in the first shop you see. Japan is full of great souvenirs, and about 400 shops all selling the exact same ones. The classic tourist trap is grabbing a keychain or chopsticks at the first cute store you see, then finding the same item way cheaper 3 doors down. The trick is simple. Take a photo. Keep walking. Compare prices as you go. Tourist streets repeat stock constantly, so you're not losing anything by browsing first. Locals already know this. They look around before they buy. Tourists panic buy because everything looks exciting. Once you've seen a few shops, you'll instantly know what's actually a good deal and what's just tourist tax. And the best part? When you finally buy something, you'll know you didn't get played by the first shop with a nice sign and bright lights. Tip 7. Paying full price because you didn't look up alternatives. Japan is packed with cheaper options, but most tourists miss them because they don't know what to look for. And honestly, half the shop names sound like someone made them up at 3 a.m. That's why people walk straight past the best bargain stores without realizing they just skipped the jackpot. Here's the secret. If you type secondhand Japan into Google Maps, or even just search the store names directly, Google shows everything in English. No guessing, no translating signs, no worrying you're about to walk into someone's office by accident. The biggest one is Book Off, which sounds like a swear word but is actually a massive secondhand chain. They sell everything: electronics, toys, designer bags, video games, clothes, you name it. Then there's Hard Off, which is their electronics version. Cameras, laptops, old Nintendo consoles, audio gear, all for prices that make tourists gasp out loud. And of course Don Quixote, or Donkey, which is basically Japan's chaos temple of discounts. It has snacks, beauty products, souvenirs, household items, luxury brands behind locked glass. It's like Disneyland for bargain hunters. And here's the part nobody realizes. These stores all have English labels, English floor guides, and clear pricing. You don't need to read a single word of Japanese. If you can understand a Costco sign, you can understand Donkey. So before you buy anything expensive, a suitcase, headphones, a camera, souvenirs, whatever, just do one quick search on your phone. Most of the time, the cheaper version is literally 5 minutes away, and you'll feel like you just outsmarted the entire tourist area. Japan hides bargains in plain sight. You just have to know their weird, wonderful names. Tip 8. Staying in 2 perfect locations. Everyone wants to stay right in the middle of everything in Shinjuku or Ginza until they see the price. Those hotels charge extra just because you can fall out the front door and land on a train station. But here's the thing. Japan never tells tourists you don't need to stay on the busiest street to be close. Japan's train system is so efficient it feels like cheating. People hear 20 minutes away and panic. But in Tokyo, that could mean 2 stops. Air-conditioned, clean, fast, and usually way more peaceful than the tourist chaos in the center. You only need to stay 1 or 2 train stops away, as long as you're still near a station. And suddenly the price drops massively without losing any convenience. Locals do this all the time. They stay in places like Kamata, Oimachi, Shinagawa, Kikukawa, or Toyocho because you can still get anywhere quickly without paying the tourist location tax. And staying slightly outside the hotspots means you actually get to see real Japan too. Cheaper food, quieter streets, family-run bakeries, hidden supermarkets, and way better value for your room. Plus, there's something nice about ending your night in a calmer area instead of stepping over 400 people in Shinjuku who all decided to stop walking at the same time. Tip 9. Buying SIM cards at the airport. Airport SIM counters charge like they're selling diamonds, not data. And the only reason tourists get trapped is because they land tired, confused, and desperate to get online before their family starts texting. Did you land yet? If you're coming from the US, the most popular eSIM options travelers actually use are Airalo, Ubigi, Moshi Japan eSIM, Holafly, and Klook's Japan eSIM. These are the same ones people mention over and over again in travel groups because they just work. Here's the best part. You buy it online before your flight, install it at home while you're awake and functioning, and the second your phone connects to Japan's towers, boom, internet. No counter, no paperwork, no passport please, no staring at a price board wondering if the number includes the cost of your soul. People always worry they'll mess up the setup, but honestly, it couldn't be easier. You literally scan a QR code. If you've ever scanned a menu at a cafe, you already know how to activate an eSIM. Your phone does the rest. And because you didn't buy it at the airport, you also skip the long line of exhausted travelers who haven't slept in 14 hours and look like their spirit left their body somewhere over the Pacific. Buy your eSIM before you fly, and the moment you land, you're connected, without getting ripped off before you even leave the airport. Tip 10. Not using Japan's tax-free shopping system. Every year, millions of tourists go to Japan and accidentally leave 10% of their money behind. Not because Japan steals it, because tourists don't realize Japan is literally trying to hand them a discount. Here's how simple it is. If you spend 5,000 yen or more in the same store on the same day, you don't pay the 10% consumption tax. That's it. No points card, no secret membership, no puzzles to solve. Just show your passport and the tax disappears like magic. But here's where people mess it up. They buy a little bit at this store, a little bit at that store, and none of it qualifies. Or they leave their passport in the hotel. Or they don't know which shops even offer tax-free. And then they get home wondering why everything felt more expensive than expected. If you're buying skincare, souvenirs, electronics, clothes, anything that's going into your suitcase, do it in one go. Stores like Don Quixote, Bic Camera, Matsumoto Kiyoshi, and big malls all offer tax-free. You'll usually see giant red signs that say tax-free, so it's pretty hard to miss once you know to look for them. One small thing people forget: unopened items. If you buy something tax-free, don't open it until you leave Japan. It needs to stay sealed for customs. Snacks are the one people get caught on. They're food, but not food for eating right now. If you want snacks to eat during your trip, buy them normally. If you want snacks to take home, buy them tax-free. This is literally Japan giving you free money. All you have to do is take it. Tip 11. Eating dinner at dinner prices when lunch is way cheaper. Japan is one of the few places on Earth where the exact same meal can cost half the price, just because you ate it 4 hours earlier. It's wild. A fancy sushi set that's around 3,000 yen at lunchtime magically turns into an 8,000 yen splurge the moment the sun goes down. And tourists fall for it every single time. Locals know the trick. They do their exploring in the morning, wander around shrines, shops, and neighborhoods, and then they sit down for a proper, beautiful Japanese lunch that doesn't blow the budget. Think yakiniku, ramen, tempura, tonkatsu, even Michelin-level spots, all offering lunch sets with huge portions for prices that make dinner look like a scam. It's honestly one of Japan's biggest money hacks. If there's a restaurant you really want to try, go during lunch. You get the same flavors, the same experience, the same vibe, just without the painful dinner bill that makes you double-check your bank balance and whisper, "Surely that's wrong." If you want to save money in Japan without feeling like you're missing anything, follow the locals. Sightseeing early, eating big at lunch, light snacks for dinner. You'll still get amazing food. You just won't pay nighttime prices for daytime meals. Tip 12. Visiting during peak seasons and paying peak prices. Everyone dreams of seeing cherry blossoms in Japan, until they look up hotel prices and realize they've accidentally planned a trip during the most expensive 3 weeks of the year. Cherry blossom season, Golden Week, New Year, all beautiful, all unforgettable, all designed to empty your wallet before you've even ordered your first bowl of ramen. Everything jumps in price. Hotels, flights, even the restaurants in busy areas suddenly feel like they're charging tourist season surcharge, just because they can. But here's what seasoned travelers know. Japan is incredible all year. If you go in September, November, or June, you still get amazing weather, way fewer crowds, and prices that won't make you rethink your life choices. It's the same country, the same food, the same sights, just without the "I just paid triple because I wanted a photo of a tree" energy. Tip 13. Buying everything at convenience stores instead of supermarkets. A lot of tourists arrive in Japan ready to try every restaurant they see, until the price of eating out every night hits them like a Tokyo taxi door. So what happens next? They retreat to the one place that feels familiar and safe, 7-Eleven. And look, 7-Eleven in Japan is amazing. No one's denying that. The food is fresh, it's quick, it's everywhere, And half of TikTok thinks it's the peak of Japanese culture. But here's the part most travelers never realize until it's too late. Convenience stores are still convenience store prices. They're cheaper than a restaurant, sure, but supermarkets are where the real savings are. Supermarkets in Japan don't just heat things. They cook things. They have actual kitchens in the back, real chefs, fresh sushi being sliced on the spot, hot meals, big bentos, proper bakery cakes, big trays of tempura, the works. Most tourists completely miss this because supermarkets in Japan don't look like supermarkets anywhere else. They're hidden, subtle, quiet. They look like office buildings, pharmacies, or honestly, nothing at all. So the big question, how do you even find one? It's easier than you think once you know what to look for. First, open Google Maps and just type supermarket. Suddenly you'll see Aeon, Life, Ito-Yokado, My Basket, all these places you've unknowingly walked past 6 times. Second, check for escalators going down underground. A lot of Japanese supermarkets live below street level. If you ever see an escalator leading into a mysterious basement, chances are there's cheap food hiding down there waiting for you. Third, follow the locals. If you see people with shopping bags disappearing into a totally boring building with no big signs, that's probably the exact supermarket you've been trying to find. Once you finally step inside one, you realize why locals barely use convenience stores for meals. Supermarkets are cheaper, portions are bigger, and the food is honestly better. You walk out with dinner, dessert, tomorrow's lunch, and a drink for less than one full meal at 7-Eleven. Convenience stores are perfect for late-night snacks or a quick drink on the go. But for actual meals, supermarkets win every time. Fresher, bigger, cheaper, and way better for anyone trying to stretch their yen without feeling like they're budget traveling. Tip 14. Stop paying tourist area restaurant prices. Japan has some of the best food in the world, but the tourist streets know it, and they're not shy about charging you 4 times the normal price just because you're already standing there with your wallet out. Meanwhile, 2 or 3 minutes down a quiet side street, locals are lining up for the exact same dish at a normal price. And it usually tastes better. And here's the crazy part that people kept repeating in the comments. This is a massive pattern in Japan. The backstreet shops cook for locals first, tourists second. The big tourist stalls, they cook for Instagram first, flavor second. That's why so many travelers say things like, I paid 4,000 yen for a seafood bowl at the busy market, then found a tiny local shop selling one for 1,000, and the cheap one tasted fresher. That's not an exaggeration. They literally tried both. If you're worried about not knowing the language or the menu, don't be. Most restaurants have big number prices right on the sign, plastic food models you can point at, and you've always got Google Lens if you need a fast translation. Just wander a couple of minutes off the packed street. Look for where the locals actually eat, and you'll save a ton of money without feeling like you're missing out. Honestly, it's where the best meals usually are. Tip 15. Only visiting Tokyo and Kyoto and missing cheaper amazing cities. This is the one almost every seasoned traveler warns about. People land in Japan, rush straight to Tokyo and Kyoto, and never look anywhere else. Then wonder why everything feels crowded and expensive. Japan isn't just those 2 cities. Some of the best food, views, and prices are in places tourists skip entirely. Shizuoka has Mount Fuji views without Tokyo prices. Kanazawa has Kyoto vibes without the shoulder-to-shoulder crowds. Nagano has onsens and snow monkeys. Fukuoka has some of the best ramen in the whole country. Even smaller places like Tottori or Okayama surprise people because things are cheaper, slower, and way more relaxed. When you spread your trip beyond the usual Tokyo-Kyoto path, your budget suddenly stretches further, and you get to see a version of Japan most tourists completely miss. Stick around. We've got Japan tips, airport hacks, cruise secrets, and all the smart shortcuts people wish they learned before they traveled. If you want your next trip to feel smoother, cheaper, and way less chaotic, you're in the perfect place. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.